Hello everyone, welcome back to Streed's Guide to Fraggle Rock. And today I'm going to be reviewing Season 3, Episode 17, Bored Stiff. This episode starts out with Doc enraged that the health inspector told him that the hole in the workshop could potentially be harboring vermin, potentially harmful to the neighborhood. Sprocket barks at the hole, which unintentionally gives Doc the idea to build a trap in order to catch the pests he believes to be there. Meanwhile on the rock, Gobo and Wembley, mainly Wembley, are brimming with excitement for a highly adventurous expedition. They're heading to the Gorg's garden for provisions, and suddenly run into Moki, Red, and Boober, who tell them the grievous news that the Gorgs are watching the hole with an eagle's eye. Gobo, being Gobo, however, is unwilling to take no for an answer, so he rushes off with Wembley close behind. The others follow, and we suddenly cut to the Gorg's garden with Ma and Pa chasing one another romantically. We then get a beautiful love ballad that reminds me of my own eternal love for my boyfriend Jensen. I love you, dear.
Moochums and blossoms in blooming, with a heart that's as warm as a stew. These are the ways I love you.
Oh,
These are the ways I love you.
Dum da da da.
Mumsy and Popsy in love in our prime, and I'm lost in the wonder of you. Who knows the way I love you?
Ooh, that's it. You've been cooch-cooing all day,
Junior. I know the ways I love you.
Afterwards, Junior finds a bottle of toxicant called boredom juice, a substance that bores all those who inhale it stiff. It's ostensibly the chemical equivalence to breathless, although much less intellectually lethal. Junior puts the cure in his shoe and attempts to thump Gobo. Ma predictably freaks out, but is distraught that their beloved kissing rock is infested with Fraggles, which makes absolutely no sense considering the fact that she already knows the Fraggles have been living there. Pa then resorts to chemical weaponry via spraying the boredom juice into Fraggle Rock. Junior's opposed to the ghastly idea, of course, and Gobo narrowly escapes, telling his friends of the Gorg's hideous plot. The Fraggles are naturally disgusted, but confident in themselves that they're incapable of being bored, even though we've seen clear instances of them being bored before. Boober prides himself in his immense boredom. What the hell are you talking about, Moki? Whatever the case, Red suggests something boring to test themselves by asking Gobo to read a postcard from Uncle Matt. Matt finds himself in some sort of beauty shop and gets sprayed by the prettiest woman known to mankind. I'm jealous, girl. Matt interprets this as a friendly gesture and goes around greeting everyone, unaware of the stench caused by the spray. What the hell did you put in that, lady? The Fraggles remain unbored, and Moki makes a logical suggestion by going out and talking to them. I wouldn't do that, Moki. The episode would be over too quickly if the characters thought logically. I know I'm being tacitly harsh, but I do see the other's points. On one hand, Moki has helped Junior 2 times previously, thus if she approached him, they could perhaps solve their current situation. But on the other hand, one of the dire flaws of the show in general is its ever-prescient inconsistency in regards to Junior's writing. The writing can't seem to decide whether he's just a kid who wants a pet, a lonesome soul who wants a friend, a sadist who wants to torture them, a guard who wants to thump them.
Make up your minds!
Gobo plays hero and proposes to stop the Gorgs whilst Boober leaves this episode since there's nothing for him to do. Gobo prepares to leave, telling the others if he's in dire need of help, he'll just yell, "Help!" Fair enough, I suppose. Meanwhile in the garden, Pa instructs Junior to spray the hole, whilst Junior still protests. He gives a demonstration with dire consequences to the Fraggles.
Boring.
Oh no!
You know, when you think about it, boredom juice is a terrifying chemical weapon. Imagine being sprayed by this stuff and languishing in dullness until you eventually die of starvation or inactivity. Good God, Fraggle Rock is a frightening place sometimes. Poison cacklers, ancient pissed off genies, numerous spooky caves, Wander McFucking Mooch?
This is some scary shit!
Meanwhile, in the workshop, Doc tells Sprocket that they'll eventually have to kill the creature they catch, the thought of which rattles Sprocket. Doc then goes out for a walk, and Sprocket does the right thing by removing the trap to save his Fragglish friends. Back in the rock, Gobo does his best to snap the others out of their boredom to no avail. Meanwhile, Junior's torn between doing his duty or saving the Fraggles. He has a reasonable idea though, and dumps the juice in order to protect the Fraggles, whilst Gobo sees the cure in his shoe, plotting to just ask him. He then does the exact opposite by running away and accidentally stumbling across the boredom-laced flower, succumbing to the boredom himself. Junior's overwhelmed with guilt, but quickly remembers that he possesses the cure to save Gobo, leading to an admittedly fun nonsense song. This episode may be a bit mediocre and inconsequential in the grand scheme of the show, but I can't help but love this silly little song. It always manages to cheer me up.
I say yes and you say no. Who can say whichever? Nudge your nose and touch your toes. Whoops, feeling better. Hey, well, what's wrong with you, Fraggle? Oh, listen here, will you? You feel jerky, I feel perky, man, it's never, never. Nudge your nose and touch your toes. Whoops, feeling better. If your mom is feeling glum, sing it out together. Nudge your nose and touch your toes. Whoops, feeling better. No, if your dad is acting mad, do it both together. Nudge your nose and touch your toes. Whoops, feeling better. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're feeling better.
Afterwards, Gobo asks Junior to teach him the song and dance to unbore his friends, but Junior's feeling hopeless, saying his parents would just find another way to get rid of the Fraggles. He mentions dying from boredom, which gives Gobo a brilliant idea, resulting in an alliance between the two.
If I help you, you've got to teach me the cure for boredom. Is that a deal?
Fraggle, that's a deal.
Okay. Are you good at pretending?
No, but I can pretend I am.
Good. Now, all you got to do is pretend you're about to die of boredom. And then...
Side to get outside, kick.
Ma and Pa return, with Junior successfully convincing them that he's miserable with boredom on the brink of death. Gobo exposits that once he reveals himself, it'll cure Junior from boredom, thus causing the Gorks to stop their plans of eradicating the Fraggles. Everything goes as planned until Junior falls near the flower, is rendered bored stiff for real, infinitely exacerbating an already tense situation. And this is the point in the episode where it really starts to drag. Gobo attempts to unboard Junior, but it doesn't work, so he heads back to the rock to fetch Junior's bowl and sings the song again as Pa attempts to spray him. Junior snaps out of it though, and the entire cast sing a glorious reprise of Feeling Better. I know I've been pretty unenthusiastic with this episode, but this brief little sequence really puts a smile on my face. It's nice seeing the Fraggles and Gorgs unite in song together, finally at peace. This is the moment Marjorie's prediction came true. There they were, together at last, in perfect harmony. Which is what I would say if it weren't for this scene.
And if there weren't any Fraggles around, who would I have to thump?
Boy, Gobo, this was sure some arduous expedition.
Yeah, Wimbley. Well, it sure beats boredom.
This makes me unfathomably angry. This scene eloquently highlights the precise writing issue that's been plaguing the show for years: Junior's inconsistent writing. It almost feels as if the very inconsistency within this character is being addressed in a metatextual sense, and it boils my guts. Just when you think you're getting somewhere with some character development and a relatively okay story with Junior and the Fraggles, the impact is immediately undercut by Junior pulling a master stating, "No one thumps you but me, Doctor." Perhaps I'm taking such a lighthearted, airy episode too seriously, but it really burns me up how the same show that produced masterpieces such as Marooned and Gone But Not Forgotten could also have writing this inconsistent. We return to the workshop, and Doc catches Sprocket springing the trap.
You mean there's nothing horrible behind this wall? Why didn't you say so in the first place?
This was an okay, albeit frustrating episode. It isn't horrendous or anything, but the writing here is so deeply contrived and steeped in inconsistency. In terms of television, it's one of those episodes, which is ostensibly an episode of a show made purely because they had no idea what to do, so the writers just winged it and hoped for the best. You can really tell there were no greater plans made here. Sure, it is entertaining, but as harsh as this is gonna sound, it feels empty. In fact, I can't really determine the moral aside from, hey, maybe don't genocide the living creatures in your neighborhood. In a way, it's similar to the Bean Barrel, the Burden, and the Bright Bouquet. Mainly in that, aside from the episode's flaws, the implications here are either dropped or never resolved in a satisfying way. In Bean Barrel, it was Red's blossoming friendship with Lanford, and in Bored Stiff, it's the Fraggles once again assisting Junior only for the status quo of their adversarial attitudes to be maintained. That's why the final scene with the Fraggles infuriates me so. At the very least, in other episodes, they end with Junior and the Fraggles parting graciously. Here, it's just so apparent that objectively, this episode is a waste of time. You could skip this one and miss nothing of the greater narrative. Maybe I could be more forgiving if this was just a silly episode without serious implications between the Fraggle-Gorg conflict, but it's that inkling of what could have been that boils me on the inside. I'll admit I can enjoy this episode on a junk food entertainment level, but intellectually, this one leaves me with such disappointment. It's not even an angry disappointment, but a more dour disappointment at Stevenson's writing, when I know damn well she's capable of so much greater. Gobbo's writing in this episode is spotty as well. His plan is so contrived. When you really boil it down, the main objective is to get the Gorgs to leave the Fraggles alone, right?
Right.
Well, since Gobbo and Junior formed the alliance, why didn't he just unbore his friends and tell Junior to lie about boring all the Fraggles? They were gone. They wouldn't have known the truth. In fact, when they return and Junior feigns boredom, they fully believe that he's accomplished his goal, which only further proves my point. Why go through this entire charade when the whole situation could have been essentially solved if you had just told Junior to lie to protect them? I think your lives would have been much easier had the Gorgs went on believing you were all bored stiff. Their guards would be down, and you could all get by easily so long as Junior kept his promise, which if this episode wasn't written so poorly, could have been a fascinating development of the show. Now, to be fair, I do understand the counter-argument of living in harmony with one another. It does sound like a much better plan. However, this is where the episode's poor writing comes into play again. It presents yet another reason for why this episode's laissez-faire attitude towards consistency only proceeds in harming it. After the events of this episode, what happens? The Gorgs, even Junior, still try to harm or be rid of the Fraggles. I think saving the child of your enemy should fully end the tension between you two, but nope! Later in the show, the Gorgs still try to harm the Fraggles, so everything that happened here, every shred of character development and growth ultimately meant
Nothing!
It's not that I hate or even dislike this episode, it just bothers me as a whole. I know I've been quite tough on this episode, but there are aspects I do quite enjoy. Like I mentioned, without any deeper thought, this is quite fun. It isn't horrendously boring, and at the end of the day, that's all I really ask for in art. The songs here fit the typical standard of Fraggle Rock. In fact, they're great. The Ways I Love You is undeniably the champion track of this episode. It's so intimate, so overflowing with the pure essence of love itself. I can't help but get lost in its hypnotic beauty. For all their faults and squabbling, Ma and Pa truly love one another, and I can't think of a more perfect song to represent that than this one. Whoops, Feeling Better is a novelty song that doesn't really mean anything, but I like it anyways. It's cute, and I feel that it embodies the innocent, carefree nature of Junior. He has maintained a level of happiness we should all strive for. As for the Doc subplot, it's okay too. I almost forgot to even write about this one, but I don't really have much else to say aside from commending Sprocket for showing more character consistency than everyone else in this episode. It doesn't really make sense that Doc would just automatically let go and forgive Sprocket, but whatever. Doc's subplot is the least frustrating segment of this episode, so I'm thankful for it. Overall, this was a contrived, shoddily written dishevelment of inconsistency wrapped in a relatively okay but moderately meandering cacophony of apathy. I find myself torn between enjoying it for what it is and critically eviscerating it for what it could have been, and the ripples and lore it could have made had more effort been focused. I'm gonna give this one a gray area mushroom. Well guys, that was the review. It's good to be back. I'll see you all next time.